I guess you wonder where I've been. Bow, bow, bow. Search to find the love within. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. What's up, everybody? King Spider here, Sean Taylor, whatever you want to call me. And today we're trying something a little bit new. I'm going to be drawing and yapping at the same time. It's going to be like high school all over again. If you went to Overton with me, I'm sorry. But yeah, so today we're going to be drawing, and I'm going to be talking about some of my experiences as an artist, so you can kind of pick up on that and see the tech that I use, see the style that I use, see kind of like a breakdown, well, not really a breakdown, because a breakdown would be going this way. It's going to be a progression of the picture from the bottom. You know what I'm trying to say. You're just going to see how I work and how I operate. And if you enjoy this kind of content, I'll keep making it. I've had a lot of people request this kind of stuff, so we'll see where it goes. So first off, let's talk about tech and what I'm using. So I'm using the Wacom Intuos. Well, this is the pen, but I'm using the Wacom Intuos. And here's the pad itself and how it looks and all that good stuff. This is actually a really old one from what I understand. But like, for me, I'm very, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, I'm absolutely positive there's way better stuff out there. And I was even doing artwork on an iPad at one point in time, but I really do love the Wacom. It has been just a staple of mine. And you know, like I said, there's probably better out there, but this is my old reliable. Okay. This works. I think I bought it from Best Buy in like 2018, 2016, something like that. I was really hyped because I had just started doing digital art and I was very, very nervous, but it all panned out. So I still think I could do much better in digital art, but you know, what are you gonna do? So for me personally, I really like to have a really big canvas just so that none of the detail gets lost, because a lot of time with digital art, the rendering process will kind of kill it, and then you'll have like these overly pixelated, these lines are really detailed, but they get overly pixelated and it gets lost in the sauce. So to prevent losing things in sauce, we are going to I don't know where I was going with that sauce analogy. Well, I did a stupid and my keyboard is connected to my laptop and I don't feel like fixing any of that, so we're just gonna work with what we got. I think it's 18 by 10 or some shit like that. It's fine. Also, if you see the cats in the background, drop a like. Let's see if we can get them up here. Ooh, he just ate. This is Crow. And this is Trouble. He likes to make airplane hands when you pick him up. Can you say hi, Trouble? No one is even talking to you. He's like 70, so all this technology is probably scaring him. So I guess for today's practice drawing, we can start off with something remedial. And I can tell you guys about the first time I decided to pick up a pencil and act like a artist of some sort. I genuinely don't remember how old I was. Yeah, I know, we're off to a great start. I do remember that I was at my Nana's old apartment in Nashville, Tennessee. At that time, my Nana would like watch me and my cousins over the summer. She watched me anyways because she was my Nana. Duh. But they were really my exposure into different types of media. So I'm not gonna say like I was sheltered or anything, but like I didn't really see a lot at my young age. I was born at a young age, if you know that clip.
I was born at a very young age. The first 2 years of my life, I couldn't even walk. I couldn't even fend for myself. There would be times, I remember it so well, there would be times that I would wake up and there would just be shit in my pants.
Look on the bright side, you've really grown a lot.
My cousins used to basically like expose me to all types of shit. They were the reason that I saw things like South Park, and for those of you that recognize or know like Team America and you know all this shit that like kids aren't supposed to watch, obviously, but like, you know, we get exposed to it anyways. Yeah, but they also exposed me to comic books and art and all that good stuff and manga. And if it wasn't for them, I can honestly say that I would not be the artist that I am today. So shout out to my cousins Justin and Edward. I really do appreciate you guys. You know, without them, like I said, I wouldn't be who I am. And whether or not you think I'm good at what I do, it's a whole different conversation in and of itself. I remember one day my cousin, I don't know if he had been watching. I want to say it was the original Spider-Man animated series, not Spectacular Spider-Man. Banger, don't get me wrong, certified hood classic. But it was a Spectacular Spider-Man. I can't remember what version it was. I want to say it was the original animated series. I don't remember when it came out. I feel like shit for saying that because I'm a big Spider-Man fan. But yeah, so he had been watching that, and he was on his Spider-Man kick, and I was in the Spider-Man, but I was more so into the comics themselves, and I was reading those before my cousins came around. And he was just like, one day he was like, you should draw Spider-Man. And it wasn't like he had seen me draw and was like, oh, you should do it. Like, it was more so just like, oh yeah, you should draw Spider-Man, just on a fucking whim. And I was just like, the fuck, like, what do I look like drawing Spider-Man? I'm good. Get out of here, weirdo. And I just kept on doing my thing with I think it was like watching Arthur and eating ramen noodles. But anywho, eventually, like, before he had to go home, he and his brother Edward had to go home for the day. I came around to it, and I was like, fuck it, I'll draw Spider-Man. And the reason why I remember this memory so well is because there was green paper that my nana would bring home from work. She worked at the VA. I don't really like this. We're gonna start over. Hold on. Anyways, I didn't plan what I was gonna draw for you guys. I was just like, fuck it, we're gonna go draw something. So here we are. But yeah, so my nana watches us. My cousin's like, draw Spider-Man. I'm like, I'm good. I come around to it. I start using this green paper that she used to bring home from when she worked at the VA. And she worked at the VA for like 23 years or something of that nature. I can't remember. But yeah, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll try. I'll see what I can get out of this, whatever. And I remember sitting there, and like in my head, I'm like, oh my god, what does Spider-Man look like? Like my head went fucking blank the minute somebody asked me to do something of this nature. I was like, that's crazy. Never Spider-Man. Who might that be? I went to go get this action figure that I had of him to kind of have as a reference. I remember drawing it, I didn't like it, and then I drew it again, and I didn't like it, and I just kept going and going and going and modifying it and changing it and all this good stuff. And I realize now, looking back, like, that's what really got to me, was the ever-changing state of art, and what makes it so fun to do, in my opinion, is how you can start with one thing and get something completely different by the time that you're done. Even if you have a vision in mind, that's kind of the fun of it, And eventually my cousins came back the next day, and they loved it. They loved the little drawing I did. My nana was over telling her friends about it. She's telling my older cousin Denise about it, and it was a whole thing. And I was like, yeah, I'm not too shabby at this. I kind of like this. Then what ends up happening, we get in a little deeper, and it turns into, oh, can you draw Captain America? Can you draw Wolverine? Can you draw this character, that character? Got to the point where I would start cutting on random old cartoons, because my nana had a lot of old school like VHS tapes and whatnot, and I would just pop those in and find a frame, pause it, take out my paper. I'd quickly sketch what was on the TV, and then I would go back and try to see if I could draw it myself. And I would practice the motions and get the shapes down and all that good stuff. And after a while, it became pretty like second nature. A lot of the different shapes, like the head and the eyes and all that other good stuff. But I didn't really start to get passionate about it until my cousins came to me with the idea of trying to create our own characters. And that right there, that's what fucking did it for me. That's I was like, oh, our own, like, I didn't know we could do that, because I was always caught between wanting to start my own little art thing or work for Marvel. Because my mom, and this is a weird little side tangent, but I'm kind of all over the place anyways, this appeases my ADHD. My mom at one point in time, was on the docket for doing work for Disney, and the work that she was going to do was going to be for Mulan. And it's crazy to think about that, and how, like, she used to leave like paintings in my room of like Tasmanian Devil and Scooby-Doo and like a lot of different Hanna-Barbera cartoons. She was a Hanna-Barbera girly, and I just like seeing that growing up, and then like starting to draw with my cousins and realizing I was actually pretty fucking good at it. I was like, yo, like maybe this is my shot. Maybe I need to like do something with this and kind of continue what my mom didn't get to do. So I always wanted to work for like Marvel. I've always been a Marvel kid. That's just, yeah, I just always have been, always will be. I love DC, it's cool. But yeah, so I decided, I was gonna, my cousins and I, we all decided that we were gonna start making our own characters and drawing our own superheroes and stuff like that. So that came with time, and it was honestly really, really fun. We ran into, our bumps in the road, so to speak, being young teenage men, you know, everybody knows everything. And we used to always have like little, like, not property disputes, it's not the term I'm looking for, but like we used to have like disputes over like whose character was whose, and you know, who actually came up with this, and yada yada, and oh, I feel overworked because you guys don't do this and all this other stuff. And for a while, you know, I did feel like, and Justin Edward, I'm sorry if you're watching this and I never told you this, but for a while I did feel like, you know, oh well, like I'm the workhorse, like I'm the one doing all the drawing, and that wasn't entirely true, but I was being a little dramatic at the time. But it's because like my cousins were doing work, but they were kind of doing their own thing, and then when it came to all of us being together, I felt like I was doing the brunt work in that regard, if that makes any sense. So over time, you know, we kind of quote unquote disbanded our little group. You know, we would have we would have moments where we kind of came back together, and then we would also have moments where like we broke right back up, or just time got away from us. And you know, that's one of the sadder things about it, especially as you get older. You start to really like try to hold on. You either try to hold on to the things that you love, or you end up letting them go inadvertently. And I'm blessed to say that I haven't let go of art. You know, art hasn't let go of me. But yeah, so over time, you know, we kind of just did our own little things. And like my cousin Edward, he does commissions and stuff. He's really, really talented dude. I gotta make sure to plug some of his work at some point in time, or you know, get him on here. And my other cousin Justin, he is a photographer, phenomenal photographer, great eye for scenes and for cosplays, especially because he does a lot of cons and whatnot. And I kind of just stuck to wanting to be a comic book artist one day. And as luck would have it, you know, I've been blessed enough to still chase my dreams and not get bogged down by life. I mean, I've had a couple like dry spells and moments where I was just like, I don't know if I want to do this type shit. But for the most part, I've been able to stick with it and really dedicate myself to it. And it's been a fucking ride. It's been a fucking ride. I love it. I love art. It's the one thing. If I didn't have art, I don't know what I'd be doing. Honestly, like I'm good at a number of things, but I don't really know what else I'd be doing, like, and be passionate about. Because art for me just kind of it wakes me up. Like, it wakes me up. It makes my heart race. It makes my blood pump. You know, it gets me hard. No, I'm playing. I'm not gonna expand upon that. But yeah, no, like I love art. Like it's who I am at my core, and I know it's what I've always been meant to do. And don't get me wrong, like I know a lot of you guys, if you follow me, some of you may not even know that I did art like this. A lot of y'all, if y'all follow me, you think that, you know, I just do martial arts, or I just teach martial arts, or I'm just a personal trainer, or I just make music, or all this other stuff. And it's like, yeah, I enjoy those things, and I'd say martial arts is right there with art. But I pick up so many things, and I tend to have like a pretty good skill set in that thing. I end up being pretty good at it. I'm not trying to suck my own dick or anything, but like art is just, it's different. It's just different. Like I am in love with this. Like, this makes me so happy, and I wouldn't give it up for anything. So yeah, that's kind of how I got my start in the business and whatnot. But you know, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to record the rest of this, like me doing the rest of the picture, without yapping. So let's go ahead and do that. Bye.